Hey, I'm AJ, and this is Power Publishing. Hey, Power Publishers, it's AJ here. I am back from the UK Games Expo overseas in Birmingham, Great Britain. It was awesome. It was an amazing time, and I got a lot to share with you. I got some video while I was over there. I'm going to show you soon, and we're going to talk about the results of the convention for Van Ryder Games, and you can think about that as a convention you want to go to. I think it's a great, amazing convention. It's in my top personal two just for enjoyment, but it's also in the top 2 to 3 conventions for us from a standpoint of revenue and sales. So let's get more into it and talk about UK Games Expo. I got my shirt. All right, everyone, here I am at UK Games Expo. I want to point something out to you. This is the back of Hall 1. That little booth back there is where you get the badges, okay? So it's in the far back right part of Hall 1. These stairs actually go up to Hall 2, which is where our booth is. But this is a whole giant hall. And actually, I think they've sent an announcement that next year they will not have this hall. So the show will be a little bit different in terms of layout. But I am here. This is Wednesday. The show opens here Friday. It's a 3-day show, a little different than most of our American shows. So this is usually there's 2 days of setups. Most big companies come and start setting up 2 days early. If you're doing a smaller booth, you usually only need to come the day before, which is tomorrow. But we'll start setting up today a little bit, and then we have all of tomorrow. So I wanted to show you guys that. You can see it's still very early in the setup, but definitely looks like a convention hall. So I'm going to go up here to our booth. Okay, so there's a little bit of a early opening preview of the convention hall. Do you like my nice shiny vest? Well, in the UK Games Expo, when you're setting up, everyone has to wear, they call these high vis for high visibility. First time I was over there, people talking about high vis, I was like, I have no idea what they're talking about. So if you hear that, that's what that means. We would call it a construction vest or something different, but that's what they call it over there. So make sure you have your high vis for you and your team. Anyone who's going to be setting up or tearing down in the hall, they do require you to wear these. If you don't have one, don't fret. There's a little convenience store right on site called Londis. You can go over there and purchase a vest, but you're not going to be able to get in the floor until you have one. So that's a tip for that. Bring them if you can, but if not, you can get them over there. Let's check out Hall 2, which is where our booth is. Okay, this is Hall 2, where all the cool kids are. I just came up those stairs I showed you, and you can see it's another hall similarly sized to the first one, maybe a little bit smaller, but still very good size. I would put these two halls on par with maybe 2/3 of Gen Con, or maybe even 80% of Gen Con size, if you're familiar with that. So good size convention. But you'll start to be able to see our stand over here soon. We obviously, coming over from the US, we pay to have our stand set up for us. It's not the cheapest thing ever, but it is nice for it to be here waiting for us, and to be torn down, we can just kind of leave after. So that's one less thing we have to think about, but you do pay a bit of a premium for such a thing. So I'm going to come around here. We have this is a Hall 2 entrance right here, so we have a really nice spot. We loved it last year. Right after people come in, they can see our booth. But you can see here we got the printed graphic panels. Again, not the cheapest thing ever, but definitely looks real nice, doesn't it? All of our pallets of goods. We hope to sell a lot of games. And we have a fulfillment partner over here who brings our pallets for us. So there's a lot to think about if you've never done this before. I came here and
Did it last year sight unseen. Usually I like to go scout a convention first, but I'm hoping to kind of do that for you guys through these videos, and maybe you can, if you feel like this is a show you'd want to do, you'll have a little bit of insight into how to do it. All right, we'll come back later, maybe when it's a little quieter, get some more coverage. All right guys, it's setup day. You want to make sure you have a really good crew, including yourself, if you are willing and able to set up your booth. So I got some good guys over here, Nikolai, Steve, and Byron over here helping out. We're getting set up for UKG. It's going to be a great show, and I'll be back with some more later. So there might be a question of, did we bring too much product? This is a thing you have to deal with a lot, is how much product to bring to a convention, and we brought a ton this time. The reason I'm okay doing that here is that we actually have some distributors here that will usually take our extra product from us. Byron's a great salesperson, so he sells the remainder to our distribution partners at their normal rate. They're happy to take it away from here because they save on the, well, they get it right away, not necessarily saving on freight, depending if what kind of terms you offer. But usually it's better for them, and so they're happy to do it. Selling out on day 1 or 2 is really overrated. That you actually don't want to do that. You want to have product through the show. So the best case scenario is you literally sell out at the last minute. Obviously it's tricky to do that, and most times you might be left with a little product, or you might sell out a little before that. But the goal is to sell as much product as you can. We definitely, as I've said many times, look at conventions as sales shows, not just marketing. So we are here to sell. We can't wait. And yeah, that's a little bit about inventory. We'll show you guys what the booth looks like once we've got it set up. But as you can see, yeah, we've brought a ton of stuff. So lots to sell. Hopefully we can do it. We'll see what happens.
Okay, so jumping back in here, back home now, and talking about this a little bit. We did indeed have a lot of inventory left over when we left, several pallets worth, in fact. Like I said in the video, it being overseas and sometimes our stuff being harder to get over there, we have distributors and sometimes retailers that want our inventory straight from the convention. So it's not always the worst thing in that case to have some left over, and it works out for us that we have those great partners, and they'll take it off our hands so that we can fully stock during the show and sell as much as we possibly can. And that's a big part of our sales numbers, is because we have what people want all throughout the show. So I think it worked out great. Maybe would have brought a little less, but you can't, it's going to be very difficult to be perfect. I'd rather have, honestly, a little bit too much than not have enough and not get those last few sales. So I'm pretty happy with how it went. We can, as we go year to year and you get more data and more intelligence, you can make better decisions in kind of each year after. And so, yeah, it was a lot of stuff, and we did our best with what we had, and then we moved on the rest, or our partners can take it back to our local warehouse there in the UK to keep stored.
Good morning, everyone. It's day 1 of UK Games Expo. Just a quick pro tip. All the hotels over here have a breakfast, so you can prepay for your breakfast when you check in. I highly recommend it. It's definitely worth it. It's something you don't have to think about. So go ahead and just get the breakfast at your hotel. Then you have it for the rest of the show. One less thing you have to worry about. We'll check in again on the show floor.
All right, a couple more things. I'm gonna talk while I walk. I'm heading over to the show. The floor opens for customers here at 9, so be aware of that. Most shows in the US are 10, all of them that I can think of, actually. So yeah, you don't want to be an hour late when you're over here, so make sure you know it's 9. Another tip, look down. Yes, it's a fanny pack. Yes, you might look a little nerdy. We're already nerds, so who cares? dealing with cash, especially if you're here or over in Essen, especially Essen is where you really hear a lot about some theft happening. So if you have your money on you at all times around your belt, it's about the safest as it can be. So that's what we do. It's really great. I can just, reach down to put cash in, get cash out. It's always on me. I don't recommend having a till over here. I know that's a little more common at home. It's fine. I guess I'm assuming my audience is in US, but some of you may already be in overseas, and so maybe you have some extra tips, so feel free to share. But I'm heading over, and we'll be at the show soon.
Okay, this is a good time to break in and talk about how much walking you're going to be doing at any big show. Not even just over in the UK, here in the States. If you're at Gen Con, Origins, PAX Unplugged, if you're over at Essen, any kind of big show with an exhibit hall, you're going to be doing a lot of walking back and forth, to and fro, here and there. You want to have really good quality shoes so that you can minimize the impact on your feet. If you can get padded flooring, I've talked about this before, padded flooring, those little puzzle piece mats that you can lay out on the bottom of your booth is going to just go into a huge amount of saving your legs. When you're on hard concrete, hard floor for hours of the day, it's really going to impact you. Case in point, we did not have the padded flooring over here because it's in the States and it would be hard to get over here. We might have to figure out how to do that locally because, yes, we had a little small layer of carpet in our booth, but man, it was tough. And I actually ended up getting a little bit of tendonitis or something in one of my heels and had unfortunately a little bit of a limp on the last day and the few days after. And so you want to try to avoid that. So yeah, padded flooring, good shoes, definitely something that you really want to make sure you're thinking about and plan in advance because those things that can really impact your mobility. Okay, let's go to the next segment.
All right, the show is alive and kicking. This is day one of UK Games Expo 2024. I have a quick break from checking out some people. Here's my son Leo, his first big convention. And yeah, everything's going good and selling nicely. So we'll check in with you guys later.
All right, so it definitely was my intent to do even more recordings throughout the show, but we got so busy and with everything. So that was actually the last video I did, but hopefully that gives you a little bit of a good preview of some of the on-location stuff. So it was an amazing show. It's a 3-day show, 9 to 6 each day, so an extra hour compared to most shows in the US, but one less day. I kind of like that. I feel like, if people go to a 3 or 4 day show, they're going to do their spending either way within that time period. So I don't know if you necessarily lose a lot. Obviously, if you're going to game, having a whole nother day is, yes, you get a lot more gaming time in. But from a sales standpoint for an exhibitor, I don't know if it's, if they made it 4 days versus 3 days, if that would have a huge impact on the total amount of the sales. Who knows? It's possible. But I think that people bring their budget, they're going to spend it within the 3 or 4 day period, whichever it is. And so I kind of like it. It's nice. I like the 4 day shows too. So that's just how this one is. So I'm going to get into a little bit of our results. Typically I don't share financials and things like that, but I'm going to actually show you guys that are enrolled in Power Publishing the details. So if you are in the program, look for a second follow-up video to this. If you're not in the program, go ahead and join if you want to see the ins and outs of how I think about this show economically and what it's like for us. Go ahead and join the program. You can go to publishboardgames.com, check that out. Okay, so just a final quick few thoughts on UKGE. This convention is amazing. This is a convention that if you're in the UK, I mean, you got to go. If you have a publishing company of any size, you just got to be there. This is a huge show, thousands of people for you to connect with and offer your games to. And if I would lived in the UK, it would be a no-brainer. I would be going every year as a publisher. I don't live in the UK, and I will now be there every year as a publisher. After last year was huge, amazing sales for us. This year, a repeat of that, and so I just don't see not doing the show as an option. It's too good. It's for us, we publish board games in English, and it's another big English market, and the people are lovely. The show staff and the administrators are great. The pricing is fair. It's you're never gonna pay $10 or $15 for a table rental in the U.S., but in the UK, that's what it is. They give fair prices, and I love some of those things. I love that the booth pricing is very fair. The perks and the space and the surroundings are amazing. You don't even have to leave the general area. You've got a whole set of things, hotels right there, and a mall and things to do. So I love UKGE. I think if you're a publisher of any notable size, you should be doing UKGE. It is a top 2 or 3 sales show for us, including Gen Con and Essen. Like, this is it, man. It's amazing. And if you've been thinking about it, I definitely recommend checking it out, getting the details. Richard and the team with UKGE, they're going to take care of you, help you get set up, and make it a great show for you. Okay, that's going to be it for this video. I'm going to jump into some more details for the power publishers that are enrolled in the program in our Discord.